لبيك اللهم لبيك لبيك لا شريك لك لبيك إن الحمد والنعمة لك والملك لا شريك لك لبيك اللهم لبيك لبيك لا شريك لك لبيك إن الحمد والنعمة لك والملك لا شريك لك لبيك اللهم لبيك لبيك لا شريك لك لبيك إن الحمد والنعمة لك والملك لا شريك لك لبيك اللهم لبيك.
الرحمن الرحيم. الحمد لله رب العالمين، والصلاة والسلام على أشرف المرسلين نبينا محمد وعلى آله وأصحابه ومن والاهم بإحسان إلى يوم الدين. أما بعد، السلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته. Please, listeners, we are here to summarize or to talk about the symposium of successful Hajj 2020, 1441 migration from the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia. And I have my guest here. Let me introduce my guest to you first. Number one of them, he's Dr. Muhammad Jallo. He's a missionary from Saudi Arabia in this country, and he graduated from the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia in Medina University. He is a PhD holder, alhamdulillah. And the number two guest, he is Dr. Muhammad Ramadan Jallo. He also graduated from the Kingdom in Jamiat Al-Qura in the Mecca University, Faculty of Iqtisad, that we call economics. Number three of them is our colleague, our brother, nobody else but Sheikh Muhammad Saleh Jallo, who also graduated from the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia at Jamia Islamiyya, who is Medina University. He is a license holder from Kulliyat al-Sharia. So this is the program, or the headline of the program. We have 3 points here to talk about. One, in Arabic we say مكانة الحج في الإسلام ومقاصده. That is the position of Hajj, that is the pilgrimage in Islam, and the importance of Hajj in Islam. This topic is for our brother Sheikh Muhammad Saleh Jallo. We have the number second topic, who is the topic is جهود المملكة العربية السعودية في تذليل صعوبات الحج والعمرة وتوفير احتياجات الحجاج والمعتمرين في حج هذا العام الاستثنائي. Our second point here is the successful Hajj upon all exceptional issues this year. But we have successful Hajj in the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia. The owner of this topic or point is our Dr. Muhammad Ramadan Jallo. Of course, the number 3 point is نجاح حج هذا العام بسلام وأمان رغم كثرة التحديات وصعوبات الوضع العالمي. Number 3 is the successful Hajj of 2020, which is 1441 migration upon all exceptional or difficulties of the world today. So we go straight away to the first point after praise Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala and ask him for put his mercy upon our Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. We go straight away for the first point, which is the position of Hajj in Islam and the importance of Hajj. To Brother Muhammad Salih Jallo, فليتفضل مشكورا مأجورا.
All praises and thanks due to Almighty Allah, the Creator, the Sustainer, and the Caretaker of the universe. We send peace and blessing and salutation to the soul of the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. May the peace and blessings of Allah be upon the Prophet, with his family and his companions, including we and any other Muslim till the day of Qiyamah. As we all know, brothers and sisters, in the line, that the Hajj is the fifth most important pillar of the 5 pillars of Islam, and it was legislated and Almighty Allah obligated the Hajj on the 9th year of the migration. The Prophet ﷺ allowed the Sahabas to go on Hajj and teach them and send Ali ibn Abi Talib as the supervisor for the Hajj on the 9th year of the migration. That means 1 year before he went to Hajj, that was the last and final year of his life. The importance of Hajj, as we have already heard, it is one of the 5 pillars of Islam, and Almighty Allah Tabaraka wa Ta'ala made this as a big example and a manifest of the power and unity and many other teachings in the deen. Allah Tabaraka wa Ta'ala said as an evidence in the Quran, وَلِلَّهِ عَلَى النَّاسِ حِجُّ الْبَيْتِ مَنِ اسْتَطَاعَ إِلَيْهِ سَبِيلًا. Said it is for Almighty Allah a responsibility placed upon people to go and visit and do the pilgrimage in Mecca for who has a way and chance to the place. And also, the Prophet ﷺ said in a hadith which is well known to all Muslims, Bunya al-Islam ala khamsin, Islam is being built upon 5 pillars, and the 5th of that is the Hajj. And also the Prophet ﷺ said in another hadith, when he was asked, Ayyul amali afdal, which of the Islamic works are better or most rewarding, he said, first is Imanu billahi wa rasuli, to believe in Almighty Allah and His Messenger. Then he said, Jihadun fi sabilillah. The second he said, to do effort and to fight to propagate the deen of Almighty Allah. And the third he said, Hajjul Mabrur, an accepted Hajj, he said, is the third most important work that Almighty Allah likes. In another hadith, the Prophet ﷺ told us that Al-Hajj al-Mabrur laysa lahu jazā'un illa al-Jannah, that an accepted Hajj has no reward except to take its owner inside paradise. May Allah grant us paradise. So for the Hajj, as we see, it is one of the 5 pillars in which Islam cannot stand without. And this Hajj is one of the biggest proofs that this Hajj or Islam is a religion of Almighty Allah, which was first established by Nabiullah Ibrahim, the father of the Prophet Abraham. May the peace and blessings of Allah be upon him. So the Hajj is a tradition of all the prophets of Almighty Allah, which is manifested only in Islam to show the power and to manifest the unity and the oneness of Almighty Allah. Among the goals and things that Hajj teaches us, one is to show the focus of the Muslim, that all the focus of the Muslim should be one. To focus to Almighty Allah Tabaraka wa Ta'ala, to depend on Him, to worship Him, and to submit and surrender under His will. That's why you see all of the Muslims facing only the Kaaba to pray, and they meet there once in a year. 2, the Hajj teaches us the maximum unity plan, to show that it is possible to gather the one whole humanity, all of humanity under one umbrella, in the same place at the same time, for one goal, same purpose, without no differences, and with maximum discipline and good manners. Another good teaching that Hajj teaches us is to prepare and ready ourselves for the last journey. in which we know when Muslims die, they are being washed and clothed with white cloth only. So in this Hajj, you see how people wash themselves and wear this white cloth. This is to remind us and teach us that one day you will depart the same way you depart to go to Hajj and leave family and loved ones behind and friends. The same way you are going to do one day, you're going to die and be washed and be clothed with white cloth and be taken to the graveyard, you alone, as you are going to go to Hajj, you alone. Another very important thing that the Hajj teaches us is to try to fight back and to try to suppress our life lust, to suppress shaitan and what our life loves in order to try to obey Almighty Allah, in which when we go to Hajj, we scale down our sleep, we scale down our eating, our drinking, all our pleasures, we scale down. At some times of the Hajj, we cut off one of the most loving things to humans, that is to be near our loved ones. This all is a very, very good teachings that Islam teaches us on how to prepare ourselves to fight the battle of life and against the worst enemy, which is Satan. We're reaching here. Stop here to allow the others to speak. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah.
Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Alhamdulillah Rabbil Alameen. Wassalatu wassalamu ala man la nabiyya ba'dahu wa ala alihi wa sahbihi man tabi'ahum bi ihsan ila yawmiddin. It is an honor for me and my colleagues to present this gesture that is to point out the efforts of the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia in hosting a successful 2020 Hajj amid these exceptional global circumstances. In the first instance, the Hajj is one of the 5 pillars of Islam and an obligation for able-bodied Muslims at least once in their lifetime. This is one of the things my colleague has just mentioned. The Hajj this year, 1441 Hijri, corresponding to 2020, was restricted to a very limited number of people from multiple nationalities as a result of the COVID-19 pandemic, ensuring the ritual was completed despite these difficult circumstances, as we all know. The authorities of the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia implemented the highest health standards and precautions during the ritual to see that the Hajj is performed in a very healthy atmosphere and environment. Consequently, the indefatigable efforts of the Kingdom has been lauded by all Islamic-minded and peaceful leaders on organizing this year's Hajj according to the precautionary and preventive measures which contributed in achieving the highest safety standards to preserve the health of the pilgrims and provide the utmost comfort and care for them, which reflects the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia's keenness to assume its responsibility of organizing Hajj this year and the past years. Moreover, the World Health Organization (WHO) also commended Saudi Arabia's successful efforts in organizing a safe Hajj during the coronavirus pandemic. Fortunately, no pilgrim was infected or proved positive during this time or during this season. WHO's Director General, Dr. Tedros, praised the steps taken by the Kingdom to ensure the safety of pilgrims as much as possible during this year's Hajj season, because it was said earlier that in fact it was not possible to organize or perform the Hajj this year as a result of the COVID-19 pandemic. The success of the Hajj season this year, despite challenges and hardships, proved the great organizational capability of the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia, of the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia crowned its success stories over the past years in setting up an integrated contemporary system of services and administrative and logistic facilities. The efforts of the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia in serving Islam and Muslims and promoting moderation, tolerance and peace will remain carved in the hearts of the Arab and Muslim nations. Thank you, gentlemen.
Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. Alhamdulillah Rabbil Alameen. والصلاة والسلام على أشرف المرسلين نبينا محمد وعلى آله وصحبه ومن تبعهم بإحسان إلى يوم الدين. أما بعد, after praising Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala for His mercy, for His sympathies, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala give a promise to mankind that who wants Him to help from Him, He will render the help to that person. As all of us knows that the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia doing a lot for all the world. The founder of the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia have taken plenty responsibility from the starting of his journey. Among the responsibilities he took is to make Hajj every year successful. So it is not something is doubtful for the Hajj to be successful every year. As the first guest said that the Hajj is one of the pillars of Islam. Indeed, it is the fifth pillars of Islam. Likewise, the second speaker talked about the facilities that the Saudi government do for the pilgrims every year. Indeed, Saudi Arabia had made great achievement through the history in terms of organizing the Hajj. I believe it was a wise decision, and showing that the kingdom is committed to holding the Hajj right even in the most difficult circumstances. Indeed, we have seen it. You know, the sickness have its own measures, have its problems. The Ministry of Hajj, or the Hajj Minister, and the Health Minister take a strong measures to facilitate the Hajj, to make the Hajj more successful without any cases or any problems. Among the solutions or the measures they took or they made for the Hajj to be successful is to limit the number of the pilgrims. And among the measures they made the Hajj to be successful and peaceful is the way you apply for the Hajj. You have to go to the Ministry of Hajj website. You send your requirement or your documents. And then, if you are lucky, because they need to look certain things for those who applied for the Hajj. That's all these measures to make Hajj so simple and successful. Then, after choosing the pilgrims, they put certain measures. Among these measures they put is to make a test for every pilgrim to know his illness or he's free from any sickness. At the same time, they limited the age. Whoever is above 65 years is not allowed to perform the Hajj. At the same time, they give measures or they give laws and principles for everyone who wants to do the Hajj. They tested the people before entering Mecca and going to Mina on all the sites they need to go. At the same time, inside the buses, they give a distance, the social distance required from the CDC. All the places they went, there is a measures they put for fight against the COVID-19. At the same time, they give a bracelet or a sign to identify who is a pilgrim, because some of them went there to support the Hajj to be a successful. Again, they have a special team, medical team, to follow up and look about the pilgrims who ever have any problem or any illness, to look after him and know what type of illness he had. But Alhamdulillah, from the starting of the Hajj till to the ending of the Hajj, we never had any problems. This is a big achievement and big success for the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia and for all Muslims. Because we know at the beginning of the Hajj, people were fearing because of the pandemic. The escalation of the pandemic is so high all over the world. But Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said, "In tansurullaha yansurukum wa yuthabbit aqdamakum." النبي صلى الله عليه وسلم يقول الله في عون العبد ما دام العبد في عون أخيه. The Kingdom of Saudi Arabia, they only depend on Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. They are working with the Quran and the Sunnah of the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam. And Allah has promised that if you are with Him, He will help you to be successful or to succeed in your challenges. The Prophet ﷺ said, if you are helping your brothers, Allah will help you. So because of the good intention of the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia, the good effort they have for the Muslims, for the Hajj to be successful, Allah make it so easier and so successful for them and for all the pilgrims who participate for the Hajj. So for that we thank Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala so much, and thank the government of Saudi Arabia for the effort they did for making the Hajj so successful without any cases. It is a highly effort, or it is something that every Muslim will be proud with it, because if there is any problem during the Hajj, there will be a big blame to the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia and even to every Muslim, because some people we can say why they allow Hajj. So we know that they know it for just tell or so to the world that they are capable for doing Hajj at any circumstances. So this is a big example that we Muslims can proud it, that Saudi Arabia is highly, or is a strong kingdom to support the Hajj in any circumstances. So we're glad for them. We ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to continue to help them, to give them more power, more energy to support the Islam, support Muslims, support the Hajj, inshallah ta'ala. So we stop here. Said very thanks to all the participants for the effort they did. So inshallah we promise to do another one, inshallah. So say Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi ta'ala wa barakatuhu.
We thanks all our guests here. Of course, we Dr. Muhammad Jallo, and of course Dr. Muhammad Ramadan Jallo, and of course Sheikh Muhammad Saleh Jallo, and both of them, they are missionaries from Saudi Arabia. Alhamdulillah, we thanks them for this analysis of the successful Hajj of this year 2020.
لبيك اللهم لبيك لبيك لا شريك لك لبيك إن الحمد والنعمة